Hey Kipsters! So today we're going to focus on finding the character's point of view, and we're going to do that by using these 3 steps and by using a few pages from The Little Yellow Leaf. So the first step is to find an important event. That one's pretty simple. We can do that one in any book that we read. The second step, though, is the most important. What does that make the character do, feel, or say? Now, these are really important because what the character does, feels, and says is going to help us to better understand how they're feeling and what they're thinking about that important event. Now, the last step that we're going to do is think about what that shows us about the character, and we're going to use those clues from step 2 to prove with evidence how do we know that. And we're going to use that sentence stem that we have at the bottom of our screen. So let's start by reading a few pages from The Little Yellow Leaf. Then we'll think about what is the Little Yellow Leaf's point of view about autumn. It says, "It was autumn, in the hush of the forest. A lone yellow leaf clung to the branch of a great oak tree. I'm not ready yet," thought the little yellow leaf as a riot of fiery leaves chased and swirled around the tree. "Not yet," thought the little yellow leaf. So here's our first step. The first step we need to do is to find an important event. Now at the very beginning, it says it was autumn. That's going to be our important event that I highlighted right there in the book. It was autumn. So let's check off that first step because we found the important event. It was autumn. Now I'm going to focus on the next step, which is to think about what the characters do, feel, and say. Now our character that we're focusing on is the little yellow leaf, so we're going to reread these pages and think about what autumn makes the little yellow leaf do, what autumn makes him feel, and what autumn makes him say. So right there in the very first page, it says that a lone yellow leaf clung to the branch. That tells us what the little yellow leaf does. He clings to the branch. So let's check that one off. Now we're going to keep reading and look for what he feels and what he says. Here's the next page. It says, "I'm not ready yet," thought the little yellow leaf as a riot of fiery leaves chased and swirled around the tree. It says right there at the beginning, "I'm not ready yet." That's something that the little yellow leaf says. So we'll check that one off and keep reading and see if we see any other information about what he does, feels, or says. "Not yet," thought the little yellow leaf. Oh, that tells us again. It tells us what he says. The little yellow leaf said not yet, so I'm going to highlight that and check that off on my list. Now we didn't find any information there about what the little yellow leaf was feeling, so I'm going to cross that one out, but we did find a lot of information about what the little yellow leaf does, feels, and says. Those are really important because it's going to help us answer that last question. In step 3, we need to think about what does that show us. So I have all of my clues right here that I just found. My first step was to find that event, that it was autumn. I found what he does. He clung to the branch, and he said 2 things. He said, "Not yet," and "I'm not ready yet." So I'm going to use all of those clues to think of what his point of view is. When I put all those clues together, and I'm going to use that sentence stem here, I can tell that the little yellow leaf is, and when I put those clues together, that tells me that he's definitely not ready for autumn. So I'm going to say that I can tell that the little yellow leaf is not ready for autumn or fall. And in my second sentence, I'm going to give my evidence. Now, these are all of my clues here that I found in the text. So I'm going to say, "I know," because in the text, and we can use any one of these examples, in the text, the little yellow leaf, and I'm going to choose what he says. I'm going to pick one of these. He says, "I'm not ready yet." The little yellow leaf says, "I'm not ready yet." So now I can tell the point of view of the little yellow leaf. I can tell that the little yellow leaf is not ready for autumn or fall. And I know because in the text, the little yellow leaf says, I'm not ready yet. So that's how I found the point of view of the little yellow leaf in his story and how he felt about autumn. Now it's going to be your turn to find out how Olivia feels about the move in Journey of a Pioneer.